Have you ever met someone and thought to yourself, oh my word, he's such a wicked man. There is absolutely no hope and I don't know if God can ever save this man. Well, today I want to introduce you to such a man. And after hearing his testimony, I thought to myself, if God could save him, then there is absolutely hope for us all. Here is his testimony and story of hope.
My name is Jean Trutte and I grew up in Cape Town, South Africa, in a northern suburbs area called Brackenfell. As life is, growing up it wasn't always easy and there was a lot of struggles and striving. But as life goes on, my dad and myself didn't have a very good relationship and I ended up literally living on the street at the age of 18. From there I decided that never again will I allow myself to go that far to have to go live on the street. I started working and ended up getting a second job because I wanted to have the extra income, and I got involved with bouncing and everything involved with the nightlife. And from one level to the next we grew into doing intimidations, taxing, and just kind of everything that you shouldn't be doing. I was quite reckless and I didn't really have any fear because I had nothing to lose. And so at that time, I got noticed by a lot of people as being reckless and careless, So I got a lot of promotions and a lot of progress very, very quickly. And I got well known in the underworld with everything that, once again, you should not be involved with. So as life went on, as time went on, I got involved with a mafia organization here in Cape Town and started doing a lot of work for them. But at one point, you do things and you're not always even, and like, maybe we're going too far now. This is even my moral code is saying. But then, how do you restart your life after you got used to this? You got used to a certain income, you get used to a certain way of life, and now you want to change that, and that's difficult. It's not easy. So basically, what happened is I ended up driving one evening after a fight, and I still had blood on me, and I was like driving, and I didn't know if God was going to listen, but I just wanted to talk and I just wanted to get everything off my chest. And I started praying while driving in the bakkie and I just started talking to God and still being under the influence of alcohol and just, like I said, I don't know if He's going to listen because I'm as drunk as can be. Just did all this fighting, did all this stuff. And then while I'm talking to God, I'm saying, God, maybe this time around I must go to prison and my guys mustn't get me out for some whatever reason, just so that I can get a clean break. Just so I can get a restart in my life, and one should be careful of what we'd ask for. As I was carrying on driving, the next moment I heard a voice audibly say, so will it be. I got such a fright that I actually pulled up the handbrake, let the bakkie slide to a halt, got out, and I was like, looking around for this person that I just heard speaking to me. And there's a petrol station, and these guys are looking at me, and like, hey sir, you're right. And I'm like, man, didn't you see somebody fall off here off the bakkie, or didn't you see somebody standing here on the corner, And they're like, no, it's 3:30 in the morning, here's a guy hearing voices. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to get going. I had a last look around the bakkie underneath, ended up driving again. And about 200 meters other side the garage, bakkie went and died without petrol. And I thought to myself, but I put in fuel early on, so what's wrong now, Anyway, I phoned somebody because I didn't want to walk back to the petrol station with the guys that already think I'm hearing voices. So I phoned somebody to come and fetch me. While I'm waiting for them, the police shows up, pull up behind me, in front of me, and they reckon that 2 houses were just burgled, like right where I'm standing. And even though I had nothing on my vehicle, they said, well, we already told the captain you're here, so you're going to have to come with us. He wants to speak to you. At that point, it was just, speaking to you or whatever. I went with them, we chatted, everything. And then another 2 police officers came in. So now it's the day shift is coming on to duty. So they're saying, Jean, your name came up in the case, but just come and give us a statement and we'll sort it out, and nothing serious, okay. And so it carries on. Next 2 policemen come, come give us a statement here as well. And I end up like literally giving statements at every single investigator's office for the whole Brackenfell police station. Like went in a circle, like everyone. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stories and times that God literally just saved my life while still doing the wrong things. And so, you know, we got involved in more and more risky things and more with the wrong people. And one evening we had to move some firearms and stuff for the one group of people. And they were moving some cars which they was stolen. They make it legal, they change the numbers on it. And so they decided, you know, we need another car that we can drive for. And so this person, we ended up hijacking the one car. And then as we started driving, police started chasing us, and I was like, okay. And then the guy said, well, we actually just hijacked this car a few minutes ago. I'm like, okay, that would have helped, you know. And then we ended up speeding away. And at some point I actually managed to get away, but the car died without fuel. And then so obviously police caught up very quickly. It was just a couple of meters ahead of them. And they caught up, and they had permission to kill us because of the violent crimes and stuff that happened, and the firearms and everything that we had. And it was police issued firearms. And so yeah, they came at us quite hard, and they ended up shooting at us. I wanted to make a run for the one wall, and then I realized there's a ditch, so I'm not going to get the height of the wall. And so I just stood still, and they ended up shooting, and I could literally feel like my jacket shaking, and I could feel it. You could hear the sound of the bullets going past your ears. It was hectic. And I just kind of stood there, and I was like, still like, God, you know, please protect me here, but if I die, I kind of, you know, receive my soul. And after a while of shooting, it was hectic. These guys obviously stopped shooting and came to me and pushed me down on the ground, and everything happened. But later that evening, some of the guys came to me and they spoke to me while in the holding cells. Now, they shot up that whole wall, so the whole wall had to be replaced. They actually had to rebuild the one section of the wall because it was completely shot up. And two of them came to me and they said, you know what, I'm a sniper for the police, and I know I didn't miss, you know. It's like, you know, I was a bit bigger than. It's like, you've got a nice big chest, you know, there's a nice easy target. It's like the first round I did, I thought, okay, maybe it's the adrenaline. So he put in a new magazine, recocked, laid on the car with his hands on the car and stuff to get better aim, and he still continued shooting, emptied the second round magazine, and yet no bullet holes. So once again, obviously we were drunk, and I was like still checking it out. I'm like, so maybe I did get shot, I just haven't realized it yet. And the second one also said, you know, they can do like a 50-cent grouping, and they can shoot like this and this and this. And then he looked at me and he said, God has obviously got a plan with your life, and you need to figure out what that plan is. But I'm telling you, the fact that you are alive today can only be God's grace. It can only be God that saved you. Because we had permission, we could have shot you. And I promise you, I didn't miss. So that morning around 4 o'clock, you know, God spoke to me and said, you know, so will it be after I asked to go to prison? And by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock that evening, I had 13 new cases. All of a sudden they said, okay, no, there's too many cases, it's getting a bit serious now, so we're going to have to hold you, you better phone your lawyers, etc. But now they took all my stuff from me, and I didn't have the telephone numbers, and I tried to phone the lawyer, got a message out, and as we get to court, I get the news that my lawyer died, and all of a sudden I've got no lawyer, but we already sent all the money that I had now, and now I've got contact with nobody, I've got nobody's numbers. And so it happened that I ended up getting sentenced. And they nailed me for a 10-year sentence originally. And I had to go to prison, and my first experience of Paulsmoor, and I wrote a book about it, so it's also in there. But yeah, I went there and I just realized, but maybe this is the opportunity for me to change my life. Maybe this is that, you know, to make all those changes. And again, it wasn't easy. You've got a reputation, and prison life is not easy. So you can't really come forth as a softie. And so on the one hand, you're still busy fighting and sorting people out, and on the other hand, you're trying to figure out how you're going to change your life. Because obviously I thought I had to do it myself, and so I wanted to plan. I wanted a plan of action, what's step one, what's step two. Obviously that didn't work so well, but at one point I decided, okay, they're going to move me over to another prison. When I get there, probably nobody's going to know me. And then I can just start a clean slate, and I can just tell people what I want, and yeah, we can just restart. So I did that, and even though a few people recognized and knew me there, I just said to them, guys, I'm changing my life and I'm going to make these changes. And they first looked at me like, oh, you just want early parole or something. I'm like, no, I'm serious. And while in prison, obviously I started reading the Bible, and I had those little red Gideon's Bible, and I read it through like probably 7 times, forward, backwards, everything. And then God started giving me dreams, and He started reminding me of promises that I made years ago. When I was 18 years old, I said, God, I'm going to become a pastor. I want to work for you. I want to do something, and I want to work for you. And I thought maybe, God was like literally reminding me. And I thought, okay, maybe I can try and do that again. Got some time now to study. And I ended up, also a long story, but we ended up studying, and I studied theology. And I completed my first 2 years while still at Paulsmoor, actually. Moved around to other prisons, etc. And ended up completing the rest of my studies once I got outside. Did a total of 9 years of that. I got my degree in theology and stuff. And yeah, ended up working as I got out. Life was again, now I'm out of prison, but now you're not working. You must find this, you must do this. And God just made it so that myself and my dad made peace just before I got out, 6 months before I got out. We made peace, and I ended up staying with him for a first bit. And then after that, he lived with me. So, things changed. And yeah, started working a little bit. First at a cigarette kiosk and, selling cigarettes and stuff. And until God said to me basically, what's the difference between selling cigarettes and selling tick or any other kind of drug? You're selling something that's going to destroy their lives. And what message are you carrying over? Because I was like giving them pamphlets while, this is my mission ground. So I'm handing out all these flyers and stuff and preaching to the people basically in a nice way. Just showing them and talking to them. And yet I'm selling all this stuff to them that's still, I'm not saying it's wrong, but God just kind of said to me, you can't be selling this and trying to work for me at the same time. And then I had to leave that, and then I was sitting without work for a while. I was like, okay, maybe I heard wrong. maybe I misunderstood, But then it so came that I got a position with Alpha. Now many people know the Alpha course, but obviously at first I didn't. And basically Alpha is about the basic principles of Christianity. And at first I also thought, oh my word, what can you teach me? Come on. But it was very, very interesting, and I grew in that. And like I say, at the end of the day, we started with Inside Prison, and then I started working for them about a year or two after I got out. And I helped them for about 7 years in total, of which full-time was 4 years. So I worked for them full-time 4 years. And I did a prison ministry for all the prisons in the whole Western Cape. And I even assisted with some of the other regions in the country. I think at one point we had 47 courses running at the same time, which was quite impressive. I just wanted to give every person in prison the same opportunity that I had, to take the opportunity and change their lives. Just to give them the idea and just to see that it is possible to kind of live a different life and just do something different. Yeah, so I can only dedicate it to God's grace, God just giving that second chance, that third chance, and so forth. And a lot of times I would have said, I probably didn't deserve a second chance. I probably didn't deserve all the grace I received. But God came through and He rescued me. He gave me a second or third chance. He helped me to restart my life to a point where, the Bible says that He will repair the year the locusts have eaten. So those years I see as the years that the locusts have eaten. And today I live a normal life, relatively. And I've got a business, I've got a vehicle, I've got a house. Pretty much where I would have been maybe if I never went to prison even. So I can only say that God has blessed me and that He's guided me to where I am now. And yeah, a lot of challenges still come. I think often people still don't want to believe that you've changed your life. They still see you for the person that you were back then. So it's not always easy, and I want to motivate people, and I want to say, if you've got a family member that maybe is doing, he's an alcoholic or drug addictions or gambling or whatever, and you think, well, you know what, there's just no hope. I mean, this guy's never going to change. We've tried so many times. Obviously he's not going to change overnight, but if you continue praying, if you continue just asking God to intervene in his life, I'm sure that there was a lot of people praying for me for a long time. And even now, with situations we've got, it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of blessings and a lot of grace to just realize that at the end of the day, God can use any situation. He takes your life from where it is and where it was, and He even uses that wrong section in your life to become part of your testimony so that you can again motivate other people. Where we're doing ministry work, where we're trying to help other people, it is that experience that we've got from the past that kind of makes you credible to the people that you're trying to help. They will look at you and they will listen to you because you know what you're talking about, in the sense that you have experienced what he has experienced, or she. So you've got that same experience, and that is why he will listen to you. So I always tell people, God is guiding you through this. He's going to use it to his benefit if you are committed to him. So if you've got family members, don't give up on them, you know. Keep trying, keep praying. And if you yourself is going through stuff like this, you know, there's always a way out. Every situation is different, but there's always a way out. There's always another way of doing things. So maybe you just need to take a step back, get a third perspective, and just get a new look and a new view, and figure out how you're going to start changing your life. I often don't know even what I'm going to do for the next year, because what is going on, what's going to happen with this. So it doesn't really become easier, but God still guides. God still has a plan. And when I think, oh, something's going to fail, oh, this is going to go wrong now, you just say, God, I leave this in your hands. I need you to guide me in this. And he does. And sometimes I still stress, I still get anxious, and I still think, you know, it's getting tight now. But God always comes through. So his grace is truly enough. And I know it's easier said than done, but stand strong and stick it out.